So you talk about some of the talented athletes from the Campbellton region. One of them you can never leave out, and I believe pound for pound, he was probably one of the best athletes come out of Campbellton in the 1990s. It served him well because after a minor pro success, he decided to reach for the what he called the golden ring and apply himself the best way he could, and eventually found himself in the NHL, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about the legend of Cory Larose. Now, if anybody knows the Larose family in Campbellton, they're probably one of the hardest working families in the Restigouche Centre or Campbellton region. Some of the Larose family are into business, some are municipal affairs, some are, council, politicians. When I first heard about Cory, I had just moved over from the Dalhousie News when the Campbellton Tribune bought us out. And his father actually tipped me off to the fact he was going to be playing with a very high level prep high school team in the States called Kimball Union. Now, Kimball Union is one of the most respected high school squads. And he really did well in the 93-94 season. 18 goals and 11 assists for 29 points. Now, he eventually found his way to the Langley Thunder of the British Columbia Junior Hockey League. And at the time, ladies and gentlemen, there was a lot of New Brunswick products were ending up in the BCHL, especially from the North Shore and the Moncton region. He's 2 seasons with the BCHL Thunder, very well respected team. The center, 5'11", 190, used his skill and his size to put up 135 points in 2 games with Langley. 95, 56 games, 61 points, and second season, 74 points, including 28 goals in 54 games. So we're saying to ourselves, Cory's getting close to his last draft year, where he's going to end up. And we were told that he was being recruited actually by the NCAA, and he eventually ended up with the prestigious University of Maine program. Ladies and gentlemen, for somebody to play University of Maine in the late 1990s was like somebody from New Brunswick ended up with the Montreal Canadiens. Very well respected program, very tough conference they were playing in, and he put up some really nice numbers over his 4-year career. He wasn't drafted by the NHL, but in those 4 years with University of Maine, he averaged well over 40 points a season. His career year was in 99 when he had 52 points, including 21 goals in 38 games. Now, at the end of his university career, the NHL was scouting him quite heavy, and he decided to sign with the then new franchise, the Minnesota Wild. Now, Larose ended up in the pros, and his first season was 2001, where he split time with the Cleveland Lumberjacks of the IHL and the Jackson Bandits of the ECHL. And he had a combined 22 goals, 33 assists for 55 points. Now, just for a second, hold on. Sorry for the delay, ladies and gentlemen. We are live as we tape. My apologies. Like I was saying, Larose ended up with 67 games that season, 55 points. Now, Minnesota took a really good look at him, but decided to give him an opportunity to prove himself. And he ended up with a storied franchise, ladies and gentlemen, even though it wasn't a WHA version. The Houston Aeros were a very respected AHL team at the time, and he was quite at home in the Aeros franchise. In 2 years with the Aeros, he scored 50 goals in 136 regular season games. Now, Houston was getting a lot of media publicity, and people were looking at him. The New York Rangers were very high on him, and he decided to trade for Larose, and he eventually ended up with the Hartford Wolfpack in his second season with the Arrows. Now with Hartford and Houston that season, he had 27 goals, and you know the call-up was going to happen pretty soon. Hartford 2003-2004, he played the majority season there, but the Rangers decided to give him a good chance, and he got 7 games in the NHL that year with the Rangers. A very stacked lineup, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody was on the 2003-4 Rangers, including a fellow New Brunswicker was on New York's roster for a short while. They never played together, to my knowledge, but Gordie Dwyer was in the mix that year too. Now, 2003-2004 was a breakthrough year for Cory. We thought that the Rangers were to give him that final chance, but they decided to let him go as a free agent. He then signed with the Trashers, and he played in their affiliate in Chicago in 2004-2005 with a very, very impressive 63 points in 80 games. But for them, from that year, he decided to try his luck in the Swiss A League, and he again had a great total, 83 points. 31 points in 42 games. 06-07, he returned to the Wolves. Impressive numbers again. 83 points in 63 games. Now, 2008, he went over to Europe again, but he decided to give it the NHL option one more chance by going to the Worcester Sharks as part of the San Jose program. With Worcester, a very, very respected squad, he ended up with 40 points in 53 games. Now, by the way, he also spent time in Russia with the Kazan AK Bars in 2007-08. Now, in 2009-10, he decided to go back to Langnau, but ended up in Tier 2 with Langenthal. 17 points in 22 games, and he wrapped up his career in Vienna in the Austrian League, 15 points in 17 games. So, ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand, just a guy from Campbellton, a very talented athlete, a very prestigious family. He did extremely well to expand on his God-given talent. And his AHL totals, ladies and gentlemen, some of the highest for a New Brunswick athlete. He's got to be at least top 50 all time. 374 points in 425 games, 139 goals. In the playoffs, in the AHL playoffs, 46 points in 71 games. Now, his University of Maine years drew a lot of interest, obviously. Get this, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Campbellton athlete, community of 10,000 people. 97, All Hockey East rookie. 99-2000, All Hockey East first team. 99-2000, AHCA East second team All-American. And 2000, the Hockey East All-Tournament team. So he also received the Len Kozlarski Sportsmanship Award, and he was also, ladies and gentlemen, the Hockey East scoring champion in 2000. And, you know, I was traveling a lot through Maine. I traveled near the campus he played. Every time I used to travel through Maine, I'd talk to different people from southern Maine. He said, "Oh yeah, he said, you're that journalist from Campbellton. Yeah, do you cover Cory much? He's always in the paper down here." I guess he was just a beauty with the media down there, well respected, and you know, a good guy and part of a good family. I think in all the years I've covered sports, Cory ranks as probably a top 20 athlete I covered. I tell you why, because it was a team effort all the way. His family was behind him. His region was behind him. His coaches were behind him. The press was behind him, because we wanted to see him have great success. And he put that. He was on a high echelon level, ladies and gentlemen, for almost, 2 decades. You know, from the mid-90s when, he went junior, because he was a good minor hockey league player and, high school as well, all the way to Austria. He's traveled the world, many countries. But Cory, again, in 2020, I think Cory would have had a better chance because I see some of the players, the grinders in the league, but he had a natural scoring ability. And the only comparison I can say for talent and personality is someone we've talked about before on our podcast channel, John LeBlanc. The goals are there. But it was all, I sold so many papers with Cory Larose by covering him, and like the story spoke for itself. But I never asked him. I never had a chance to ask him every fan how he ended up in Russia. That got to be a story in itself. Anyway, we're hoping you're having a good day. Watch for the Heat this week, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your stick in the ice. And if you see Cory Larose in your travels, don't forget to ask for an autograph. He's a very genial guy. He'll probably give you two. Have a good day. Bye.